Soundstripe.
Fan Spectrum, I see you. Let's go.
We're back at the ballpark, guys. Where is he at?
This is the only union that we're gonna bust. I'm a union,
Baby, come on.
You're not serious. You're not serious.
I gotta stick with MJ.
Okay. Hey, you don't have to say it because I'm here now.
Oh, there's our boy Paul right here.
Hey, that
Figure it out.
Fan Spectrum right here, right here.
Do you guys really consider the bubble teams that won the championships legit championships? Because if you look at it, Lakers have fallen off. The Dodgers, I mean, yeah, they have a winning record, but they fell off first round. And then the Buccaneers they're pretty. I mean, they have a 500 record, but they're not dominant. You know what I'm saying? And ever since the bubble, these teams have fallen off. And does that go to show that fans really do make a difference? Or was it just the format was really weird? Are we really going to consider these championships really legit?
I think they are. I mean, as much as probably people don't want to believe it, that's still a hard thing, whether it's no fans, like emotionally, mentally, you still have to play. Like, it's not like, now there's no fans, we suck now. Like it shouldn't be that way. That shouldn't change it. I mean, yes, do fans affect play? Do they make a difference in terms of emotion, mentally? Can they affect the game? Yes. But I think at the end of the day, it's still a physical game. Like certain sports, baseball is mental and emotional. It is physical, right? But a lot of it's mental. And that can, no fans in there. Yeah, that can clear up. But people are talking so much trash on that field and you're not even listening. You're not even hearing it all. But there's so much back and forth coming from dugouts where that still can throw you off, especially at the pressure. Like at the end of the day,
look at the Padres, bro. Them beating the Dodgers, the Phillies winning. That was all fan oriented. That was all fan fueled at the end of the day. And I feel like that does make a big difference.
Yeah, momentum purposes. Yeah, like a fan can make a difference. But if you take those fans out, certain things change? Yeah, like I said earlier, it's not that they can't change anything, but at the end of the day, those teams still have to go out there and play, and those players have to hit, and those players have to pitch. Like it doesn't change from the fact of that. You know what I'm saying? Like
the job doesn't change. It's still a job.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Double A. Go ahead, Double A.
Those bubble teams are trash. Let me tell you.
Thank you, because I agree. I agree.
Trash because listen, okay.
It's all your LA teams too, which is crazy.
I know, right? The thing is, the fans make a big difference. When you on the road and stuff like that, the pressure behind it. But not only that is the traveling, like especially for the Lakers and the Dodgers. When it was playoff time, they were all in just one place, and that's a big factor in playing these games. Because if you look at NBA, you could for them it's probably like another pickup game at a gym. No fans, you know what I mean? No like noise. They don't have
no bullshit though.
Huh?
Like play me up. Like we don't need fans. Just hoop against me.
Yeah, but when you put in the factor of traveling, that takes a lot from your body, and then on top of media and fans, that does really make a difference. Can you imagine? I bet you if Ben Simmons was in the bubble, he was going to be MVP, bro.
That's
like,
no,
I mean,
that's a good point.
But you want the players to
Don't get too confident with that. My man still needs to learn how to shoot a 3-pointer. That's the first thing.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. I mean, that's a valid point. It goes mental toll on you.
But I think one thing though in sports has been very stressed is the ability to rest and recuperate, and you will perform a lot better to the best of your abilities if you didn't have to put all that strain on your body to travel and all those things. I think personally, those three championships that were all competed against were all, you could absolutely say that they were all 100%. Like they didn't have to. They had
Both
probably
teams had the
good
same
sleep.
rest. Both teams
Same
had the
rest.
same.
Same rest. You had the same staff
everything.
around you. You
Mhm.
very much had the same schedule as
Mhm.
far as how practices went.
The schedules
know.
were different for baseball, but that's okay. Well,
Well, baseball is
yeah,
baseball,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like
No,
even then,
yeah, no, yeah.
you know, but even then, I mean, just the idea.
Everyone was at square one. No one was. I get what you're
Nobody
saying.
had an
Yeah, yeah.
advantage.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah, there wasn't an advantage or disadvantage. I mean, everyone was suffering the same. You couldn't see your family, but like I said, it's a business, it's a job. Like you still have to perform even in a what you would think is probably just like a crappy condition that's going on, you know.
I mean, I get that. It's just, listen, like these guys get paid billions of dollars, right? You know what I
Okay.
mean? You playing in an empty arena. I get everybody's at 100%. You know what I mean? But that's not the norm. That's not the norm when you playing these sports. Fans are included, traveling,
yeah, but
government, like
you're also playing those sport. You're playing a sport where though, like you're playing in a time though where everybody's like stuck at home though too. Like everybody's like in this, you know, like life isn't norm in that situation. So like the fact that you have to play through that, yeah, maybe you not seeing your family that you got to see every day is a toll. That's an emotional toll. That's a mental toll. Huh?
They're always on the road. They don't see their families even now.
True.
But traveling,
you can fly there and back though, right? Could you do that during the bubble? No.
I mean, the bubble was only for what, 2 months?
That's a lot of time, bro.
because-
So let's just cut you out from your family for 2 months. Let's cut you out from Jet for 2 months.
but no, but that's not. But I get what you're saying.
It brings me
Nah.
home a bonus check, and that's gonna go to.
Yeah, it
college
sounds
kid.
super easy now. You could say that now, but if that was really what happened to you, I don't think that's the same energy. That's a definitely different thing. Like
It goes back to like them college days in essence. I mean,
college days again, you could leave. We're talking
no,
about
I
a time you
mean-
couldn't leave. You can roll your eyes all you want, but that's the truth. You
I
couldn't
still
do
don't.
anything.
I still don't think they're legit champions because they have fallen off bad. Well, all three of those teams.
They had
All
to,
three of
but
those
they had to still play like you still had to play, you know, like
Yeah.
I mean,
I totally get they still have to play, but being at I get the circumstance of not being with your family, but the thing is, they don't see their families until the off season anyway. How
Yeah.
You
And
can
even-
still go
even-
fly.
But even
Y'all
when you're
are
with,
bugging.
even when
Y'all
you're
are
playing, even when you're playing in the season, are you really gonna be talking to your family while you have to plan for a game that you're going a big game at that?
I
I'm not
think
gonna
a
be
ring's a
my
ring.
mindset ain't on. I mean, granted, yeah. my
Okay,
family's
put
gonna be
yourself in
there.
their shoes then.
A ring.
Would you want them to talk shit about you saying you didn't win the ring? Would you, if you go through all of that,
Mhm.
win a ring, and then people were like, "That's not that that's not legit."
It's
What
not
you
valid.
saying?
It's not.
What are you saying?
It's
You
not.
saying it's not?
I'm saying. Honestly,
you-
it was
it's
just for
you.
entertainment. It was just for entertainment.
Nah,
It's not
that's
to me. It
BS.
wasn't legit. I really don't think.
That's BS. Because at the end of the day, again, it comes down to you gotta play. And just because you sucked on the other side doesn't mean that I gotta get hit. Dodgers were the better team. It was that. The
I
Lakers were the
disagree on
better
that.
team.
I disagree
It
with
was
the
that.
Dodgers argument.
They
I disagree.
okay. Tell me how they weren't.
The schedule wasn't even 162 games. First of all, secondly, it wasn't
Okay.
even. It was
Same
one
for the other
Nobody,
team?
nobody played a full season.
Nobody
though.
played
That's
everybody
in
a full
reality.
season.
Yeah,
So
but it
give
was
me that.
within it was within just the West Coast division. They actually didn't play any East Coast teams like Atlanta or Washington at the time.
Everybody did that. Everybody did that. Central stayed within Central. So what's the point?
The thing
But
is,
it's
has any,
fixed.
has any of those guys? Has any
It's
of
fixed.
I mean,
It's
it's
just
fixed now. It's already. It's been fixed, but even before COVID happened, like,
But
hey, it didn't change anything.
Go ahead, Double A.
any of those guys besides the Dodgers who made the playoffs, which they choked,
Right,
since-
because of where they were at. San
All
Diego.
those teams
okay.
have not
Fans, fine.
been- all those teams have not been the same since the bubble.
How many teams though have? How many teams have won and done outside of that though? There's a bunch of teams that have done one and done outside of the bubble. Nobody calls that fake.
What
Or
do
they
you
were
mean?
that not legit. Like there's a
Like-
lot of teams that have gone one time to the playoffs, won it, and then never went there again, and they haven't been there since.
Since the bubble.
We don't call it a fluke though. No, in general.
we're
So-
The thing is, we're
Saying
talking
we're
about
saying post. We're talking
about-
about post and pre-bubble.
we're
We're
not
talking
talking
about
about random teams that's just making and not making the next year. We're talking about these they're champions of 2020 bubble season.
Okay. No,
Okay.
okay. So I'm talking about any championship team, though. Championship
Mhm.
team that's won 1 year, and then the following year they never been to it. Years after Cubs, 2016 Cubs, we won it 1 year, never made it after that.
Yeah, but that's a
That
different.
fluke.
That's small. That's a small percentage, though. That doesn't happen a lot.
It's the same thing with
He's
the
saying- he's
COVID
saying-
teams, though.
he's
COVID
using the argument-
sickness doesn't
he's
shut
using the
down the whole
argument.
entire
But
world.
he's using
every
the
10
I
years.
get what you're trying to say with the
The
argument. We're
argument I'm
talking
saying
about-
is teams have won, they'll one and done. It happens that way too. You're saying about a bubble, shorter game, shorter this, so it shouldn't count because they had shorter everything. But if it was any other team, if it wasn't the Lakers and it was what was the team, the Heat, would you be saying the same thing? Would you, or would this be different conversation? Because sometimes I think it's that too. Because then I go, well, it's because it was LeBron and AD that won. And if it wasn't LeBron and
I don't care
AD
about
that won
that.
and it was the Heat,
I
it'd
don't care about
the
that.
Heat-
I
be a
mean, they
different
suck now.
conversation.
If you look at the Heat got the same criticism, but what they did, they made it to the championship. Against
Lakers.
no, they won. They made it to the championship again after the Lakers.
No, I went to the conference championship against the Boston Celtics.
Didn't they play? Who did they play?
The only thing that's about these teams that's the
Warriors?
that reason why they didn't do good anything afterwards is because they stayed the same afterwards. They
Was
didn't
it-
make their teams better. They didn't make them they didn't make their teams
Dodgers got
They-
better. Dodgers got
Dodgers
Mookie
had the
Betts.
same team. They
They
had
had
Mookie
Mookie
Betts.
Betts.
They had Mookie Betts. Yes, they
didn't have
did.
Mookie.
Yes,
had
they
Mookie
did,
Betts,
Romeo.
yes. That was
Yes,
his
they
first. I think that was
Mookie
either
Betts
first-
got a ring with them. Okay, the following year they did what? They didn't get Freeman till last year.
Okay, they got
But
Trey
besides-
Turner and Freeman, right? Come
Yeah.
on
So
now.
again, two players. You're talking baseball's a nine.
That's
It's 9
two-
people.
Okay.
All right, you're right. Again, you're right. No, this is Romeo show. I forgot.
I
He likes to be
Y'all
right all the
bugging.
time.
I
Y'all
yeah,
bugging.
I
He likes to
literally
be right
I'm
all the
literally
time.
just
This is how it
saying-
is. No, you're right.
First of all, I didn't even cut you off. I'm just saying two
No, you're
things.
right.
They
Go
just
ahead,
had
finish.
they had two big players. That's two World Series champions at that. That have won
Mhm.
it before, and
Okay.
and for them not to be a big deal, a big difference, yeah, that's a big
Bro.
difference, bro. And then I
Okay.
also have a bunch of Will Smith had a great season as a catcher before
Yeah, but
they had.
it takes 9 players to play baseball, right? So
and
the
it
same
takes one
so
player
the
to hit a home
Padres.
run, and it takes
So
one
that
player to
takes
hit
the
a home run.
Padres. So the Padres
takes
just
one-
did. You're gonna
it
let me
takes one
finish, or
player
you're
to
gonna
home
keep
run.
cutting me off? Because now you're
Bryce
irritating
Harper.
me.
Bryce Harper is a big
All right,
difference
you
why the
won. You're
Phillies
right.
were good.
You're right. You're right.
Just
'Cause
saying,
you're
but
not,
that was
you're not
three-
letting me finish. So I'm gonna cut you off because that's the
Go.
problem. Is I'm trying to get my 2
All right,
cents in, and
all
you
right,
keep cutting me
okay,
off.
Let's hear what Bray- let's hear what B
He's
got
gonna
to
say
say.
the
I
same
don't
thing
know.
he's been
No,
saying.
which makes sense. You just keep saying shit that don't make sense because you're just agreeing to
I
what
just-
you want to agree to.
No,
So-
I'm not.
9 players on both sides. It takes both sides. Baseball's not just like, oh, we're gonna stack it. That's proven. You can stack all stars.
I can argue that doesn't take
There you
9
go.
players on baseball. It takes one guy, one pitcher, which is the reason
All
why
right,
the
fine. You're
Houston Astros won.
Okay,
I'm just
you're right.
saying. I'm just saying. in
You
essence,
again cutting me off, but you got it, bro. You're right.
I'm arguing with you.
You're
I'm
right.
saying it does. It
No,
takes
you're-
actually one player in baseball, a pitcher. So
You got it, bro. You're right.
I'm
Next.
just saying.
You're right. You're always right. You got it. Next.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
No problem.
No,
no problem.
I just think that I will say I think fans do make a big difference. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And in essence, I think since then the teams have fallen off pretty bad. That's all.
No, I mean I totally agree. I
I
think
mean, they
just-
made accommodations to adjust to the fans. Like even
No, you
you
can't be
can't-
right, Manny.
you
Don't worry
can't-
about
no,
it.
you can't-
You're not gonna
can't
win this
say-
argument. They're gonna be
you
right. They
can't
want to
say
be
that
right.
there wasn't fans in the bubble when they did it virtually. You know,
It's not the same though. It's not
I
the same. I'm
mean,
gonna just start with. I'm gonna argue against
virtually-
you. It's not the
virtually-
same because the fans being there makes the difference, and this is the
Does.
reason why the
Okay.
everything.
I mean,
Okay.
That's the reason
argument-
why
I say
those
the
teams
I
don't
say then
matter.
the
because
argument changes.
those team
from-
winning championships don't matter because they
Validate-
didn't
yeah,
have
like-
fans there. That's why. Because they didn't have fans. That's why those they don't count. They didn't have fans. They didn't have to. They had to deal with COVID, but that's not a big issue. They just, they didn't have fans. Who cares about COVID and being cut off from your families and not, having to deal with that kind of a struggle? That's not a struggle in itself because, if they could pay me Aaron, what you say, pay me $20K and sit me in a bubble for 2 months. I can care less. That's fine with me. $200K was it? You
say
said,
that.
and you
Well,
didn't
I
care
mean-
that. You
I
didn't
mean,
care.
a
That's what you
lot
said.
of players
so-
actually a lot of players didn't play during the bubble.
The
So
thing,
I will
yeah, a
say
lot of
that.
players did play during the bubble. You had
Didn't,
you
no, they
had
didn't. A
options
lot of players
to
didn't
opt out.
too.
There was
Mhm.
a lot of there was a lot
Exactly.
of players that opt out of not playing in the bubble.
Same
Kyrie
thing for
Irving,
every sport.
Kyrie Irving.
And,
Yeah, every
and that's
sport.
because number one, they didn't want to get their families in sick or whatnot. But there's that other side of guys like LeBron who
Who started
actually
up.
went and it's only 2 months. 2 months out of the year. I mean, these guys are gone more than 2
half
months.
a year, whole year almost. Yeah.
There's a difference though. They're coming home and away games. Like there's a balance in schedule, so they can go out there and back. But again, it doesn't matter because what I'm saying is irrelevant, regardless. You guys made your mind up. So it is what it is. I'm just done arguing. It's no
I
fun
mean,
to
if it
argue
wasn't,
if I'm
if it
always in the
wasn't,
wrong.
if it wasn't gonna be valid, then why did they push for the seasons to continue?
No,
'Cause it's money.
Because
of
it's not
money.
valid to fans. That's what it
Right,
is.
right. So
the
it's
validation's
no,
on
it's
fans.
'cause of
If
money.
The
All right,
fans
so,
say it's
but
not.
they
If it's
didn't.
not,
But they didn't need fans to. But you didn't. But fans, in a sense, still provided money. So, in a sense, the fans were involved.
Oh,
Think about it.
viewership, yes.
Viewer-
But as
I mean,
far
whether,
as
hey, you're spectating either in person or behind the screen. What's the? It ain't no
there's
difference.
a big difference. Look at guys throwing stuff at Kyrie Irving when he's in Boston and how crazy that is on Kyrie Irving's mental state. I mean, come on, that's a lot of
Mhm.
big things. Look
Kyrie-
at guys.
and then
Kyrie's the worst person to ever use that as an example because
Well,
even in
I'm
the
just
bubble, he was
saying,
crying.
I'm just saying, people like are throwing shit at you, and it's like, dude, I'm trying to play a freaking game. Russell Westbrook's another one. Everyone's calling him Westbrook, and he ain't throw a fit about that. I mean, come on, it's a big deal. If you guys
Well,
can't
let's-
mentally play, then
Fans, yeah, no.
Look at freaking in closing, Julius Randle, right? Julius Randle had a great season with the New York Knicks that year. All right. When the playoffs started and the fans was there and the pressure was on, the fans were screaming, the fans was calling out his name. He choked. He was never, since that playoff game with the Hawks, he has never
good.
been the same player. Never been the same player. Because why? The fans really got to him. It really affect his game. And that is a part of the game. That's a big part of the game that was that affects people's performance, which is why Ben Simmons is still having trouble.
and then here's another argument. Anthony Davis was all healthy during the bubble, but when he's not in the bubble, that man gets hurt left and right. All of a sudden now he's getting
You're
better.
right.
Granted,
You guys are right.
I'm just saying.
You guys
and
are
all
right.
stuff,
Yeah, you
you
guys
know.
are right. Gotcha. I agree.